This evening to our webinar about Fashion Design Certificate Program. We have here Joe Doucette, who does the admissions, Jen Varekemp, who is the director of the program and also the chair of the fashion department. And my name is Jackie Knight, and I'm the director of continuing education. So we're going to run through a slide presentation this evening that Jen is going to talk about the program, and then we'll open it up for questions. It won't take too long, so we hope you have your questions and put them in the chat, or just let us know you have a question. So I'll pass it over to Jen. I'll just start sharing my screen. Turn off my
Great. Thanks, Jackie. Okay, so I'm going to give you an overview of the Fashion Design Certificate Program. And like Jackie said, if you have any questions, you can just put them in the chat or ask questions at the end. So this image right here, one of the projects we do in our Intro to Creative Fashion class is working with kind of waste and thinking of making garments out of non-textile material. So this is an example of one of our students from that class. Next slide, Jackie. So just a little bit about MassArt in general. MassArt is the only freestanding independent college of art and design in the country. This gives you a little bit of a sense of our numbers. We're a small kind of tightly woven campus, and we have about just under 1,700 undergrad students, just over 100 graduate, and then our continuing education students, which is what the certificate program falls under, is about just over 150. MassArt is home to one of the nation's oldest fashion programs. We established the fashion design program at MassArt in 1907. We have a full undergraduate program with the BFA in fashion design, and then now for 20 years we've been running a fashion design certificate program. We are recognized by the Council of Fashion Designers of America, and we have alumni working at many companies. This just gives you a little sample of them. Next slide. So just a little bit of an overview of the program. The program itself is basically set up to give students enrolling in it an opportunity to understand and learn the skills for being a designer in fashion or in product development. Basically, the program's set up to give you the required courses and a set group of electives that would allow you to move into an entry-level position. So this talks a little bit about how the program's structured. There's 10 courses in the program that includes 3 electives of choice. And the shortest amount of time that the program can be completed in is 2 years and 1 summer. And that would be if you take 2 classes in the fall and 2 classes in the spring, and then at least 1 summer class. It's set up to be structured for individuals who are working during the day. So all of our classes are offered in the evening, and they're on a part-time schedule. So yeah, it would be like 2 classes a semester. They're set up to be, try to set them to run when most people could get there after work. So 6:30 to 10 or 6 to 9 if it's the fashion history course. This gives you a little bit of a sample of what the required courses are and what the elective choices are. So I'll just run through the required courses first. As a student coming into fashion design, we feel it's really important that you get, because we don't ask, we just ask for a collage for entry into the program and a statement of purpose about why you're interested. So it's really important that you take fashion illustration. So that's one of our required courses. So you get some understanding of illustrating your designs. Global Heritage Fashion and Art is a global perspective on fashion history, which is really important in any field that you go into to understand the history of it. On our kind of entry-level classes, we have pattern drafting, which is a fall course, Intro to Creative Fashion, which is a spring course. And then the next level up on these courses is tailoring, would follow pattern drafting, and couture design would follow Intro to Creative Fashion. And then you complete the program with a professional portfolio class, which is a 2-credit course. All the other courses are set up to be 3 credits. The professional portfolio is a course you'll take in your final spring semester. And then here's a sampling of some different types of electives we've offered throughout the years. Digital tools for fashion design and digital tools for textile design are both obviously digital focused courses which use Photoshop and Illustrator. To either fashion design is geared towards more product development, so it's a really great course for gaining skills to work in a larger company. Digital tools for textile design is using same 2 programs, but for creating your own textile design prints. Sustainable fashion is a deep dive in and both a studio and kind of a research class together on sustainable design and fashion. Costume design, millinery is hat design, handbag design, intro to clothes 3D apparel design is also another 3D digital course, entrepreneurship for creative business, and a pant making workshop. So I think I've been teaching in the certificate program for even before we started it. So I think one of the greatest things about the program is honestly the community, the group of students who comes into the program and the community that's built there. It's a really collaborative environment. We really try, the faculty who teach in it, we really try to embrace that, and students themselves just make really great connections. I also teach in our undergrad program, and you'll also have some undergrad students in some of the electives. So there's a really nice, we try to really kind of combine the undergrad and the certificate programs together. Next slide. And this just gives you an example of some of our core curriculum, just some images, pattern drafting, creative fashion, and then illustration. And then tailoring, couture design, and portfolio. These are just some examples of student work. Sustainable fashion and costume design, handbag design and millinery, entrepreneurship and digital tools. And then the other piece that we offer to our certificate students is that in our undergrad program, we offer a number of different travel courses. And I run a few of them. And with that, I always open it up. We always open all of them up to certificate students as well. And on every one that I've run, we've always had at least 2 to 3 certificate students, even though it's an undergraduate class. So it's another really fun opportunity to, if you do the course, you can take it also to count as one of your electives if you opt to do that. And these are just some examples. Paris and Antwerp is a course I've been running for a really long time. Usually the trips travel in January during the winter intersession, and they're 2 weeks long. The one on the right is a travel course to Laos. Actually, one of our certificate students we worked with a social enterprise and designed and made one of the dresses that's still being sold with the social enterprise right now. So it was a really great experience. Next slide. And then my colleague Renee, who also teaches the program, has run a course to Ghana, and I've also run one to India. And then just to give you a sense of where some of our alums from the certificate program have landed, obviously Ready to Wear. These are locations that are close by here: Talbot's, J. Jill, Converse, TJX, New Balance, Nordstrom, Puma. But we also have students who are in other states actually as well. Bridal Week, Essence of Australia, which is a large bridal company. One of our alums is a lead designer there. Costume here in Boston, the Boston Ballet, the Conservatory, and also on film and TV production. And then we have a number of our alum who have started their own small business enterprises. So Zainab Sumu and Queen Adeline are two that are actually, and Edna Sherry are three that are local in the Massachusetts area. And this is just to highlight Queen. If you wanted to see any of her work, she came into the program. She's originally from Ghana, and she took the sustainable fashion class, got really interested in trying to make her work really sustainably focused, and is doing really well. So she's based here in Massachusetts. And then Zainab Karoma, or Zainab Sumu, is her company. She's doing a lot of art pieces now too, and art projects, but she really started, she had a really interesting background in working with on the business side with high-end designers in LA, like Comme des Garçons. And when she took the program, did the program, she became really interested. She by just surprise, she took the digital tools for textile design class, became really interested in designing her own digital prints. And then she created so she spends a lot of time in different parts of Africa being inspired. She's from Sierra Leone. And then she brings her paintings and her drawings back in and puts them into digital prints. And you can see scarves in this image on the left side of some of her prints. Yeah, and then so that gives you kind of an overview of the curriculum and part of the program. And I think Joe is going to talk a little bit about the program cost.
Sure, I can do that. The program cost, what you see here for tuitions and fees is for last year. So unfortunately, it wasn't updated. So it says fall of 2024. Total cost of the program was $16,262. We have a slight bump as of this summer. So the number is going to be closer to probably about 18,000. Figure 1,700 per class. Sorry that we didn't update that, but we just slipped through the cracks. At any rate, if you need an exact number, you can reach out to me and I can give that to you through email. But financial aid is also available. So you'll need to take 6 credits to do that. It's mostly in the form of student loans. And to do that, you could contact our student aid office. They could give you details about how to do that and what you would need to do to qualify. Employer funding, that's sort of up to you. If your employer is willing to pay for your classes, that's fantastic. You could reach out to us for details about how that works. Generally, it's through purchase order, and it's a little more complicated than just registering for a class. We would need paperwork and approval from them before we could register you. But once again, since it's slightly complicated, you can always reach out to me and I can give you the details about how to do that if your employer is interested in reimbursing you. And trying first, you can take up to 2 credits before enrolling. Lots of people do this. So they'll take 2 classes just to get a feel for the program, or 1 class to get a feel for the program, and then go ahead and apply. Assuming you passed one of those or both of those classes, they would then transfer into the program as part of your credit for the certificate. Generally speaking, we always ask that if you're going to do this, try to take one of the classes that are part of the core program. So this summer, if you really want to get ahead of yourself, fashion illustration would be one to take. It's also only offered in summer. So if you're applying for fall and you say, oh, geez, I really want to take something right away, I would say go ahead and register for fashion illustration and take it in the summer. That way you don't have to wait till next summer, and you could transfer that in as credit if you're applying for fall. So that's all I have for this slide, Jackie. In the application, Right now we're taking applications for fall, so it would be a September 2025 start. The application deadline currently is June 15th. That's for fall. The application is open online. You can apply right now through June 15th. The materials required, it's a statement of purpose, a resume, letters of recommendation if you can get them. They are not required. So if you don't have them, don't worry about that. High school transcript or a college transcript, one or the other. If you have both, that's great, but you only need a high school diploma to qualify for the program. So if you went to high school a long time ago and you can't get that, but you have your college transcripts, those will work perfectly well. Please include those. Also, there is a collage involved in the application. As Jen mentioned, it's just a collage of images related to fashion and what interests you in the world of fashion. Just can be very free form, whatever you think. Most people do it as sort of images, either from magazines or from the internet, that they cobble together into a collage just to show us what you're interested in. And that's part of the application as well. So if you have any questions about the application or the application process, you can always contact me. My email is right on this slide, and I'll include it in the chat in a little bit. Oh, also, I'm going to add I'm going to put the link in there to find the application. I'm adding it to the chat right now. And now we're opening it up to questions.
I'll put my email in here as well in case any questions come up afterwards. Yeah, and if my questions, if you have questions about the curriculum, the program, reach out to me about that.
And I'll just say, if you came in late, this is being recorded and we'll send it to you afterwards. Maybe in a couple of days, you'll see it. So you can put your questions in the chat if you have any.
I'll just add, sometimes this question has come up and I didn't mention it, but you can do internships through MassArt as well when you're in the program. They're a little bit, you have to work around it a little bit depending on your work schedule, because most of the internships are offered through the day, but we've definitely had a number of certificate students do internships. And generally you have to complete like your first kind of core year of courses in order to have enough kind of skill and knowledge to do them. But and then that can actually count as one of your electives too.
And if you think of, maybe there are no questions tonight, but if you think of any questions, you can always email us afterwards. Don't
Yeah.
feel stressed that you missed your opportunity. So.
All right, it looks like there's no questions. So
Yeah, so we can say good night. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. And be sure to write if you have questions.
Thanks.
Thank you.